Damage Inc. is going to be at Bimbo's in San Francisco on Saturday, June 21st, the night in between the two Metallica shows at Levi's Stadium. And I have a feeling it's going to be pretty crowded because now Metallica shows are a vacation destination. And I think your band has kind of become part of that, yeah?
We've been fortunate enough to have been selected to do this night in between. This is our third leg, I guess, if you will. We got a chance to do it for the first time for their 40th anniversary back in, I think it was 2021. And then they invited us on their North American leg, first half of their North American leg for the 23 portion of their tour. And now we're getting to play with them again in the night in between for San Francisco. So we're excited about it.
Which venue did you play on the 40th?
40th was actually Bimbo's too, so we're returning to the same location. Yeah, scene of the crime here. We're coming back to Ground Zero for the first show.
I was actually working for Live Nation at the 40th anniversary, so I wasn't able to go. So this will be my first time at Bimbo's, if you can believe that.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that was the last time we did it was our first time there. I'd heard about it, a storied venue for sure, but had never set foot until we got a chance to play the 40th anniversary show.
As first timers, what did you notice at Bimbo's?
It was awesome, bigger than I had anticipated. I thought it was a smaller club than that. It definitely looked like it had a lot of awesome bands that have been in and out of that place. A lot of pretty cool shows have taken place in there, so you could certainly feel kind of a little bit of a vibe when you go in there.
It's actually shocking to me. I think I've been to thousands of shows and not one of them has been at Bimbo's, and I'm still trying to get over that. So I'm glad you're bringing me out of that for the first time.
Come on, the water's great.
Now, when you say this is your third leg of doing the night in between with Metallica on the 72 Seasons tour, does that mean that you've been playing at all the stadium dates the night in between, or have you been kind of rotating in and out?
Just a few so we did the 40th anniversary, which predated the 72 Seasons album. And then when they actually went on tour for this album, we did the North American portion, the first half of the North American portion. For the 24 leg, they started sharing the wealth, so to speak, with some of the other tribute bands out there, giving them a chance to be able to have that awesome experience and doing the night in between. So I think they're kind of going after a local tribute in that area now. And kind of letting them do a night in between as one of the various attractions for their takeover.
And you guys are getting the Bay Area takeover. That's kind of a big deal.
Yeah, we're excited that they thought about us and gave us a call and had us come back to do this portion of it. We're always more than honored to be a part of anything that Metallica's doing. So they gave us the call and we were happy to answer.
Has it struck up any beef between tribute bands? Is that still a thing?
Not that I know of. I mean, we've always just been we're four fans that are fortunate enough to have people show up and listen to us play the music of our favorite band. So I think anybody that wants to start a beef over that or have drama over that is I don't know, maybe they got a little more time on their hands than I do. We just want to have fun and play Metallica. That's the bottom line for us.
I mean, there's nobody in a tribute band that hasn't seen the movie Rockstar, right?
Right. Yeah, I think that's a prerequisite of joining a tribute band.
I mean, the Steel Dragon tribute band beef is epic.
He never wore the blue lapels.
Exactly.
Oh, you're like a goatee James instead of mustache James. I don't know if people get that serious over it, but we certainly we take the music seriously, but not ourselves.
Do not doubt. I posted pictures from the Metallica 30th anniversary at the Fillmore in San Francisco, and these were not my archival pictures. This was like Metallica had a museum on site, and one of the things that they had was a white leather jacket, and it was like Lars white leather jacket circa 80 something or whatever it said. And I just took a picture of it while I was there, posted the picture last year, I think, on the anniversary of the anniversaries. And somebody was like, oh my God, that is not an 80s era Lars leather jacket. That leather jacket is like so 90s era Lars. And I was like, bro, okay, you sure about that? Oh, big mistake, because the first thing he did was track down footage of Lars that was dated wearing that jacket and drop it in comments. And I was like, oh, I love your enthusiasm, but
he kept all the receipts apparently.
Yeah, well, and he was younger than I am, like way
younger.
Wow. you know? And I
Wow.
mean, I came into Metallica fandom at Master of Puppets because I'm in my 50s and everybody who was there in the beginning is in their 60s. It's just,
Yeah.
and this guy was probably in his like late 20s, early 30s. And he was like Metallica scholarship is a thing.
You have to admire the enthusiasm.
Yeah. He's like an anthropologist, but just for Metallica.
Right? I like that. A Metallica anthropologist.
Yeah, I feel like it's time for Stanford to have a study. I mean,
Right?
Stanford's got a course on the Grateful Dead, so why not Metallica, right?
I'll be a guest speaker, guest instructor.
Absolutely. Professor Chris Knight from
Pretend
Imaging.
to be one.
So you're also joined by Moto Breath, you said is another LA Metallica tribute band.
Yeah, the funny story, we've been doing this now for 21 years, and they came onto the scene probably about 15 years ago or so. It's another LA band, and we became friends with those guys. I think at one point in time they had a gig that they needed a bass player, and so my younger brother, who plays bass for us, did a fill-in opportunity for them, and their drummer, Danny, who's now our drummer too. But he filled in for us once, and we've just kind of traded members when needed over the years. So we've really kind of grown to become close with these guys. There's three brothers in their band. My younger brother and I play in our band together, so there's some similarities there a little bit. They don't take themselves too seriously, also, so they just are fans like us and have just a love for the music. And so when we had a chance to add another band onto the venue, and we also had the opportunity to be able to pick that band, it was a natural selection for us.
So you guys don't fight over who gets to play the white leather jacket era of Metallica.
Right, that leather jacket's in my car. Took it already. Yeah, no, we've been, since we've been doing it a little bit longer, we kind of do some of the deeper cuts. A lot of the stuff, especially for a show like this, where we're going to get a chance to play in front of Metallica fans that get to see the band a lot and hear a lot of the same songs. We're going to dive a little deeper into our set and kind of do some of the ones that you might not hear at your average Metallica show. Maybe they've played once or twice. And I think the Motor Breath guys tend to stay a little bit truer to some of the hits. Actually, they tend to model themselves after the Seattle show from the box set. If you guys remember that old VHS box edition of, I think it was Live Shit, Binge and Purge. Yeah. So they kind of follow that Seattle, that '89 pre-Black album sort of sound.
Okay. And then you guys just run the gambit of deep tracks and whatever sounds good.
Yeah, we can do the first 5 albums front to back, and then a smattering of the other stuff, including the new stuff. So we're pretty much from Kill 'Em All to 72 Seasons and everything in between.
Because we're a classic rock station, and then when I do the metal show on Saturday nights, I have had a rule in the past to only do pre-Black Album Metallica because post-Black Album Metallica is in regular rotation. So I felt like if it's the specialty show, I would only do pre-Black Album era. But 72 Seasons is the only exception I've ever made because I think it's the best new Metallica album, hands down. Honestly,
I would agree. I think that they have really kind of hit their stride with kind of post membership change, I guess, if you will, member change. The writing sounds really great. James's voice sounds better than it ever has. All the guitar riffs and the drumming. I mean, it just really sounds like every song on the album's a ripper.
Do you have a favorite?
Right now, for me, usually favorite songs, whatever I'm learning or playing right now. I'm kind of crunching that one. So I've been toying around with Crown of Barbed Wire. My favorite one to play on the album right now, though, is Room of Mirrors. It's one that the Metallica hasn't played yet, but I'm hoping to see it on a future set list.
Lux Eterna is my jam at this point.
I love that one.
It's my favorite one on the album. So are you seeing the 72 Seasons tour in between when you're playing? Are you guys getting in on Friday and checking out the show and then staying Saturday? Or do you have to kind of bounce in and out on Saturdays? Or have you just been doing a combination?
A little bit of a combination. This will be our first one this year, but when we were doing it in 23, it was definitely as you alluded to earlier in the broadcast here, sort of a Metallica vacation. So every weekend was like a Metallica vacation, and we'd roll into the city and find out where the pop-up shop was or what was going on that weekend. I think they've added bowling events. Squindo this year is going to have an art exhibit, the blackened cigar exhibit. So we just kind of made it a Metallica vacation every weekend we rolled in. Made sure to catch the band and catch as many of the extracurricular activities as we could.
We have definitely got a blood drive, and I'll be hosting Squindo on Saturday before your show at Manny's in the Mission. Squindo, we're doing Squindo's event at 2:30, and then we head over to see you guys in North Beach, grab dinner, and you guys are going to be starting Motor Breath maybe like 6-ish, 6:30.
Yeah, it should be. You want to get there early, get a good spot, and we'll be cranking out Metallica hits all night.
So it should be easy to do both, and I think we're going to have, honestly, more tourists at this one, being Metallica's hometown, because I think there are so many Metallica-centered things to see and do outside of all of the official Metallica weekend takeover things. We'll be in the Mission for the Squindo event, and Kirk's favorite burrito is right up the street at El Barra. Nice. So I feel like there's going to be, I remember from the 40th anniversary that there were a lot of people had come into town for the shows, and you would see them out and about just like selfieing at like Tommy's Joint and, places that were significant in front of the Kabuki and other places that Metallica played early, like Ruthie's Inn, that's now, I think, a bookstore or something. People are doing like the Metallica tour. Is there anything Bay Area that you guys got to see last time or are looking forward to seeing this time?
Nothing on the secret menu, if you will. Nothing that wasn't advertised there. I might have to pair up with you and follow you around for the weekend. It sounds like you know where all the hot spots are there. No, unfortunately, unfortunately, we didn't get the chance to stray off of the reservation too much when it came to the pre-planned activities. But I'm definitely keeping my ear to the ground this coming show to see if there's anything worth checking out up there.
So I've been to Phoenix and Seattle, and both times I couldn't make it into the pop-up shop. Like there was just a massive line out front the whole time. You guys actually got in?
We got into the first one. I think the one we made was actually that was the 40th anniversary one that we got a chance to. So yeah, we didn't get a chance to get into. We kind of experienced the same thing with a lot of those cities out there, where if you're not there ahead of time a little bit, that you're probably your chances of getting in kind of diminish as the event goes on.
I really hope that when people come to San Francisco, they come early and stay late. Because there's so much to do here, not just Metallica related, but also there's so much Metallica related that you're actually going to miss stuff. I can't believe that I've gone to 2 cities to see this tour and still missed a lot of stuff.
It seems like they're even doing certain things for that city in some cases too. So there might be some different events each stop that they're making that might not have been at the last one. But it is a little bit, there's so much to do that it is hard to wrap it up all up in one weekend. I mean, you really have to Clark Griswold everything and kind of plan out point A to point B there and make sure you got your I's dotted and T's crossed to catch everything.
Exactly. I'm recommending to everybody, don't try to drive it. Try to plan out your public transportation way in advance. Get your list of places and try to hit them, but don't get upset if you can't, because it's, traveling the city, even on a weekend, we have a lot of traffic.
Yeah, and what we found is we would just get caught up with fellow Metallica fans and chatting about our experiences out there, and next thing you know, it's like, wow, the day's half gone.
So what have been some of your favorite Metallica stories? Everybody's got one.
Oh God, I mean, there are so many. The getting a chance to go on the tour, obviously one of the bigger ones. On the Detroit stop in 23, we had an opportunity to go a little early that day, and a couple of their technicians, or guitar tech and drum tech, they gave us a tour of the stage and the band's instruments, before the show is taking place. It was kind of cool to get a behind the scenes of the stage and sort of see how the hydraulic lifts for the drums coming up, and some of those different factors worked, how, their guitar bass collections were, all set up, at their own specific stations there. And it was kind of cool to see that, like fly on the wall sort of aspect of it before everything sort of got going.
I guess that's actually been a concern for people is the guitar pedals because they can't have them on stage.
Yeah.
Where are the guitar pedals? How are they doing that?
They are fortunate enough to have somebody else do that for them. Speaking from experience, it's a lot of tap dancing when you don't. So there's no pedals on stage for those guys.
So you're going to be hitting all the pedals yourself at Bimbo's on Saturday, and Moto Breath are opening, and you guys have to coordinate the set list. Is it possible that you guys will fight over a song and be like, but we have to play Damage?
Yeah, we're pretty easygoing with that. I think our library is pretty packed enough to where we can, if we can't play that song, there's another one just as good we can stick in its place.
Is it the opposite problem where you have too many songs that you want to play and you're just like, how are we going to do that?
I'd say that's the more common issue. I mean,
half minutes. Yeah. We can't fit in 2 songs. What are we going to do?
Yeah, exactly. It's I think that's the conundrum of being in the Metallica band is, you're not doing a 3-minute AC/DC type song. It's, each song is a good 6 to 8 minutes long, and so you have 9 hours worth of stuff you want to try and jam down into a 90-minute set. It's which one's got to be on the set. There's certain songs that have to be on the set, and so you really only get about 6 or 7 songs you can change on any given night. So the problem tends to be finding the songs you want to play that night, changing it up and keeping everybody happy. There's always somebody that missed hearing something that night, even though they got a good 90-minute show, they didn't hear Lover Man or something. There's always some deep cut that you didn't play.
Some guy in the back is always shouting Freebird. There's no getting out of it.
Exactly.
It's that guy up front that won't stop shouting the same song over and over again. That we're all like, somebody get that guy a drink.
Right. Or take one away from him.
Now, when you first hit the scene as a Metallica tribute band, am I remembering correctly that there was some kind of a schism with the band that you guys had to work out?
Not us per se. We've never really had any run-ins other than positive with the band. We did play with another tribute band, Sandman, that had a logo issue that one of Metallica's lawyers, I think, was a little overzealous with, and sent them a cease and desist, only to.
Is that who it was?
Have them, yeah. They backtracked on that.
And the band was like, "Come on, it's whatever.
Right,
we're not."
Yeah. Thankfully, we have flown under the radar of Metallica's lawyers. So.
But very much on the radar of Metallica, because they did handpick you to do these gigs. I mean, it's not like they don't have choices. How do you think that happened?
I'm guessing a magic 8-ball, maybe a dartboard. No, I'm seriously, I hard to wrap my head around. My favorite band inviting us to play at an event that they're putting together. I mean, how do you wrap your head around that? There's it's just a lot of pinching myself, I think.
Mm-hmm. What was the biggest pinch me moment?
I think walking into the first show, so it was our first experience on the 72 Seasons tour. We'd done the 40th anniversary, and so we got there to New York or New Jersey on Friday, and went and picked up our tickets and found out that they had given us snake pit access. And we're walking in through the employee entrance into the stadium, and you see the stage right in front of you, and you're passing Metallica's dressing room back there, the tuning room, and it was just kind of a surreal Wayne's World moment. You kind of want to show your backstage pass to everybody and just kind of soak it in. But I think that was kind of one of the more surreal moments for me.
So when you get to San Francisco, are you driving in? Are you flying in? What's the first thing you do when you hit ground?
Flying in, and I usually, for me, coffee. I like to sleep on the plane, and so a little bit of coffee to kind of get me back into the land of the living there. is usually in order. Phil's Coffee tends to be my favorite up in San Fran there.
Excellent. And then we are going to see you. Are you coming in for the shows, or are you coming in Saturday? Okay.
Yeah, no, we'll be in Friday.
So you'll be around Friday and trying to figure out how to do that same drive that we're all doing down to San Jose and then back up to San Francisco and then back down to San Jose. For people,
you guys don't have a helicopter, do you?
Honestly, if Bill Graham hadn't died in one doing exactly that, going from show to show, we probably all would be more into that idea. But yeah. But it's going to be a thing. And for people coming in from out of town, I just want them to know that if you're staying in San Jose near the venue, you are going to have a hike up to San Francisco, but you can take the light rail train, which will make it really easy to get into the city. And then you can Uber or Muni up to North Beach. And if people can get to North Beach early, there's so much there to see about, I mean, just not just the great Italian food and the whole Little Italy right next door to Chinatown, but the Stone is right there. Metallica's played the Stone, and now it's a strip club. So plan your time accordingly. And,
I don't know what happened to the day.
I was like, we went to go take a picture in front of the Stone, and it's 10 o'clock. What happened? There's a lot to do in the area, not just the great food, but also it's where the beatnik poet started. Jack Kerouac and all of that from the early 60s is there. There's a punk scene that started there. Winterland, right where I think not Bimbo's, but the building next to Bimbo's, where the Sex Pistols played their last show. Yeah, there's a ton of stuff in the neighborhood for people who are coming up. Get up early on Saturday if you can and get into San Francisco. Spend the day. Come join me at Manny's in the Mission, where I'll be interviewing Squindo. We'll be seeing his art, and then we'll hop over to North Beach to catch Moto Breath and Damage Inc. around 6 o'clock at Bimbo's. My first time.
Awesome. We look forward to breaking you in.
Thanks, Chris.